Good afternoon, Packers fans. Aaron Nagler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on the Cheesehead TV social channels. It is Tuesday, a fact that eluded me for a good 60 seconds earlier today when I had a out loud conversation with myself. Is it Wednesday? Is it Tuesday? I literally forgot and couldn't remember what day of the week it is because I have been so singularly focused on this Rodgers nonsense that I lost all concept of space and time. Other than that, things are going great. Hope you're all doing well wherever you are in this world, and hopefully you're a lot less sick than I am and aren't beholden to your phone the way I have been over the course of the last week. Packers news. Of course, there's news. There's Alan Lazard, now former Green Bay Packers wide receiver, agreeing to terms with the New York Jets. Of course, he's not officially former until tomorrow, but you get the idea. So happy for Alan Lazard. Talk about a great journey from an undrafted guy out of Iowa State to now a prized free agent signing for the New York Jets. Obviously joins Nathaniel Hackett as a former Packer. Who knows who else may be joining him in New York? Words bandied about today throughout the Twitter sphere that Randall Cobb could be in play for the Jets. Mercedes Lewis could be joining the Jets. And a possible Packers quarterback could be joining the New York Jets. We still wait for official word, though all signs do seem to be pointing towards the Green Bay Packers trading Aaron Rodgers to the Jets probably in the next 24 hours. I would suspect probably, at the start of the new league year, tomorrow at 4 p.m. Can we circle that? Maybe in the evening? We'll see. But sure feels like that is coming. NFL Network reporting earlier this afternoon that compensation is still an issue between the two teams. Got to think it'll be interesting to see who's happy, who's upset, and who's ready to just move on when all the particulars get announced. But in the meantime, I'm going to chat with Packers fans worldwide because that's what we do here at Cheesehead TV. And before I do so, I just want to remind you all, coming April 3rd, the Cheesehead TV 2023 Pro Football Draft Guide, April 3rd, right here at cheeseheadtv.com. Be sure to check it out. For Packers fans, by Packers fans, we've been producing it for the last 13 years. It is outstanding stuff from lots of people who know a lot more about the draft than I do. So be sure to check that out. And hey, since I've got you here, let me give you a little programming note that tomorrow morning I'll be appearing on Bonjour Talk Sports at Amazon Prime. That's right, the Amazon Prime morning sports talk show. I'll be on, I believe, around 9 a.m. So be on the lookout for that. I'll be coming to you live from their studio here in New York, down in Soho, 9 a.m. Talking Rodgers, Packers, and what have you. Going to be a lot of fun. Hello to everybody in the comment section. So good to see everybody. Michael's here. Look at everybody. Brandy's here. Of course, Adam's here. So many of the regulars are here. TKM, good to see you at your post. What's going on, folks? What's everybody thinking about in this pre-Rodgers trade era? We got M. Good to see you, buddy. Can't wait for Green Bay. New chapter in front of us. Go, Pack, go. I think that sentiment is shared by a lot of people. For good, mostly for good reasons, but there's some bad reasons. Darren asks, do we get Moore or Davis back in the trade, do you think? I think there's a possibility of that occurring. I suspect probably not. I think the Corey Davis thing is interesting, mostly because I don't really think the Packers need to worry about getting him in the deal. I don't think they want him at the salary he's currently slated to have. They would have to renegotiate that contract regardless. And you have to think, especially now with the addition of Alan Lazard and maybe Randall Cobb, there's a very good chance that Corey Davis just gets cut outright by the Jets and you can just sign him as a free agent. So but I'm not dismissing the possibility right out of hand. I think, yeah, it's possible that's part of the discussion, but I'd be surprised if players were included in the trade. Max, thanks for the super chat. Nothing but love for Alan Lazard. I'm with you, man. Hey, shout out to Alan Lazard. What a journey. What a story. And look, he bet on himself last summer. You know, we all remember he didn't show up for the offseason workouts. He didn't need to. They are voluntary. He did show up for the one voluntary session, the mini camp. Signed his tender, and he bet on himself. And now he's got a nice, sweet free agent deal for a former undrafted guy out of Iowa State. Love it. Love it. Nothing but love. And look, the man carried himself with utmost professionalism in Green Bay, did everything that was asked of him, We all know the drill. One of the best, most physical blockers in the run game at the wide receiver position. Did a lot of the dirty work when Devontae Adams was in town. Just consummate professional. Love it. Love to see his growth, and nothing but the best, and wish him all the luck in the world in New York. Curly Bill, thanks for the super chat. 12 creating drama for a new team. Well, bye. I believe that's said in the Powers Booth voice from Tombstone. Quinn, thanks for the super chat. Were the Packers going to be very active in free agency if this deal was made with the Jets? If so, is Rodgers going to hold the Packers hostage until free agency ends? I doubt he's going to hold them hostage for, any length of time at all. And I don't think he's holding them hostage right now. The Packers got their one major deal they needed to get done in Keyshawn Nixon. It was always going to be very tight against the cap once that trade gets, executed. So, yeah, I don't see any plans having to be changed because of the timing of things. Once that trade goes through, the Packers are going to lose a significant amount of salary cap space. They went from, I think they're hovering around 24 million in space. They're probably going to be just north of 10 after that trade happens. So they were never going to be big players in free agency with the idea that they were going to be trading Rodgers. I suspect they'll be picking over, the latter ends of the second or third wave of free agents. I don't think they're going to completely skip free agency, but it was never going to be big marquee names. It was never going to be these first kind of days of free agency, or I would guess even the first week of free agency. I said this a couple weeks ago, and people made jokes. Oh, they never participate in free agency, etc. And I get that, but yeah, anybody thinking that they were going to dive in here, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. That was, I would guess, was never the plan, because they knew they wanted to trade Aaron, and they knew that was going to cause a decent sized cap crunch. What else we got here, folks? What else we got? John Simitovich, thanks for super chat. The absurdity of Kumaro not being included, SMA. Wasn't Kumaro the final straw, the summer of discontent? Exactly. Where is the Kumaro signing? Callum, should we draft a quarterback in the middle rounds? Yes. I know Spoon put that out there earlier today on Twitter, wondering who might the backup be to Jordan Love. We've talked about it here a little bit. I did a short on it here on the YouTube channel. You can check that out. But yeah, I 100% think they draft somebody maybe in the middle rounds, maybe later. But look, and I've had people in my mentions today saying like, well, Brock Purdy's don't grow on trees. You don't need Brock Purdy. You need a guy to develop. If Jordan Love were to get hurt, what does having Marcus Mariota out there for a few games get you, other than holding a space for Jordan Love when he returns? You're not out there thinking, oh, we got to hold on to our precious Super Bowl run. I mean, I understand the point is to win the game, etc. But I'd much rather have a young quarterback who you can be developing along with Jordan Love. And if Jordan suffers some kind of injury, then yeah, I'll have another young guy take over, start getting him ready. Not to take over long term, but just to develop another quarterback who hopefully eventually you can flip for some decent assets. But yeah, I don't know. The old spending whatever minuscule amount of free agency dollars you have on a guy who most likely won't play all year doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I just think it's a poor allocation of resources if that were to be the case. Didn't Corey Davis play for LaFleur in Tennessee? He did, Packers and Cheddar, for that one season. He did indeed. Duke, thanks for the super chat. Love Boat era is upon us. Maybe not Love Boat. Maybe not Love Boat, just because it probably harkens back to that incident in Minnesota with the Vikings. That's just me. Maybe I've just got a long memory, but yeah, Love Boat. I would steer clear of Love Boat, especially Love Boat era. I don't think that's a great one. Sandra, thank you so much for the super sticker. Appreciate it. What else we got, folks? What else we got? Do the Packers still have Watkins' phone number? Probably, but I don't think they're going to call it anytime soon. Andrew, thanks for the super chat. Any 20-something could have told A-Rod that tripping shrooms in the dark wouldn't do anything. Got to have the lights on for the good visuals and at least some crazy ish on your TV. I don't want to get too in the weeds here, but yeah, I never liked TV. mixed with the shrooms. I like being outdoors, but hey, man, you do you. But in the dark, you never know. That's an experience. It's all good. What else we got? What's Jeff Janis doing these days? Oh man, number of times Rodgers has gone out of his way in his life to name check Jeff Janis in some passive aggressive way. It's amazing. Love connection. There you see. Love connection works. Love connection is good. Much better than Love Bodera. No question about it. Can we re-sign Big Bob now? I think it's a possibility, Paul. I mean, I said a couple weeks ago, I think, that I expected them to let him kind of dip his toe into the free agency waters. Clearly hasn't signed with anybody yet, but I don't think anybody expected him to right out of the gate in the legal tampering period. I would give it a week. If Bob's still sitting out there a week from now, he probably gets a call from the Packers. That would be my guess. Excuse me. Matt, thanks for the super chat. Per your recommendation, I gave Married with Children another listen. I've intermittently had it stuck in my head since. Great song. A lot of lines in that remind me of the Rodgers situation. That's pretty good. For those of you who don't know, Married with Children is my favorite Oasis track. Highly recommended. Yes, for the Rodgers situation and just in general. I love that song. I'm glad you checked it out, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I love that song. Marcus, thank you for the super chat. I'm very happy 12 took 10 under his wing and left him out of the beef with management. I'll always appreciate that. That's an excellent point, man. It's one of the things that, he probably will never get the credit he deserves there, probably because most people will say, well, that's what he should do. And look, yes, we all hope and expect that that's the attitude a older veteran will take to a younger guy. But man, the NFL is a cutthroat business, and there are constantly reminders that you are being, people are looking to replace you every chance they get. And certainly we saw Rodgers' kind of response to Jordan Love being drafted with his play on the field. He certainly ratcheted it up and won 2 MVPs, and he absolutely responded with his play. But you are correct in the sense that he, without fail, was nothing but good to Jordan, both publicly and from what I can tell and from what I've heard behind the scenes, privately as well. And that's all you can ask, And I love that Aaron has checked a couple of times where he's talked about wanting to be a resource for younger quarterbacks and to shepherd in a new generation of quarterbacks, including Jordan Love. Knowing that that's the guy who's probably going to replace him, he still wanted to impart that wisdom. Very different tone and reaction than we all remember Brett saying it's not my job to get Aaron Rodgers ready to play, etc. A very different tone taken by Aaron to reaction to the drafting of Jordan, for which, yes, Packers fans should be eternally grateful. Certainly seem to take those lessons and remember it all the things that he went through taking over for Brett. Sure feels like he understood where Jordan was in his kind of career and what he needed to hear and who he needed to be in relationship to the young man. And I love that. Could we sign Irv Smith or Njoku? Darren, very, 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 very small chance. Those guys are probably going to get some decent coin, and I don't see the Packers going that route. I think, especially at tight end, you'll see them dip into this draft class probably once, if not twice. I'd just be surprised if they paid top dollar for a name like that in free agency. I'm not saying it's impossible, but highly unlikely is my guess. Next, what does the salary cap look like if Aaron Rodgers leaves? Ray, it gets cut significantly, right about in half, maybe a little under half, but they're going to get pretty tight. Pretty tight. Dom Vito. I get it. Thanks for the super chat. Nags, important question for you. I won't make you wait. And then nothing. I get it. I get it. That's funny. Marcus, thanks for the super chat. If trade now, how long until we're clear of 12's contract? That's a really good question. I can't remember officially. I think we're still eating some dead money next year because of the fact that it's not after June 1st, but don't quote me on that. But they'll definitely be, I believe, repercussions still next season. Corey, why did Goody not go for a third and Waller? Man, Goody tried to get Waller for like 2 years. He offered a second at the trade deadline last season, and the Raiders said no. I mean, at some point, you got to move on. And look, this roster is going to be a very different creature than trying to go all in and win it with Aaron Rodgers. That's the kind of signing you make or a trade that you make when you're trying to get, one last push for a title with your aging quarterback. You make that deal. You're resetting the roster and turning over to a young quarterback and building a squad. That's not a deal you make. I understand people are going to make the joke about third rounders, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, no, I understand being out on that. And I don't think it should be any surprise when there's a a draft class as deep and talented as this one is at the position that the Packers would much rather take their own guy and develop him or two and go that route instead of trading away a pick for an aging, expensive, not often on the field veteran. You think we can get Thielen for cheap? And if so, would you want him? Well, those are two very different questions. I'm glad you phrased it that way, Watson. Could they? Yes. Do I want them to? No. I think he's done. I think I'm not going to say washed. He can probably still help a team, but, we just had a guy who couldn't run in Sammy Watkins. I don't need another guy who can't run in Adam Thielen. And I think, again, he can probably still help somebody. He can probably be a possession guy, and Godspeed, someone's probably going to pay him, but I don't think you need him in Green Bay. You need somebody. I know you got to sign a vet probably, but I just think Thielen's another Watkins waiting to happen. I'd like a little more upside. That's just me. Ryan, thanks for the super chat. Will you rename Lil Tun if Tunyon doesn't return? Sadly, I think we're going to have to. He's going to have to go back to Packerman. Strictly Packerman. It's going to have to happen. Poor guy. Jacob, thanks for the super chat. When do you think we'll hear from Matt LaFleur? Do you have a sense of how he feels about all this? I don't. I haven't spoken to Matt at all. I spoke to him the week of the combine, when he wasn't in Indy. But other than that, I haven't spoken to him about all this. I probably won't. When do I think we'll hear from him? I would suspect at the start of the offseason program. The Packers usually make the coach and some of the players available when they kick things off in mid-April. I suspect we'll hear from him then. And if not then, we'll probably hear from him draft weekend. Those would be my guesses. Traditionally, that's when they're made available. Dash, thanks for the super chat. Who cares about Rodgers? Mandalorian is out. Also, have you watched any of the Star Wars animated shows? Also, where does Lewis go? I think Big Dog's probably between the Raiders and the Jets. I think the Jets are obviously in play. I know Aaron Rodgers absolutely loves Big Dog and has said on multiple occasions that he wants Big Dog to go with him wherever he ends up. If he's ending up with the Jets, which it sure feels like he's going to, got to think he's making a play big time to have Big Dog join him there. And Mandalorian, yeah, love Mandalorian. It's hard to go tonally from Andor to the Mandalorian. I mean, Mandalorian is fun and it's Baby Yoda's cute and it's pew and it's good times. I enjoy it, but it does feel like kind of a finger painting comparative to just the master work and real kind of Renaissance painting that is Andor. And the whole tone is different. The whole worlds are, the whole feel of those shows are different. And I understand, look, it's great. You can tell a story in lots of different ways. I love Andor, though. Mandalorian is fun. But man, Andor was special. And that's where I'm at. And yes, I've watched all of the animated stuff, including Visions, which is incredible if you haven't checked it out yet. It's good stuff. What else we got, folks? We have a good team, and Love will play LaFleur system, run the ball. Everyone just assumes that they're going to run the ball more under Jordan. I don't, because Aaron's not in town. I don't think that's strictly true. I think they ran the ball a lot last year. I like to joke that they didn't run it enough because I get frustrated when they don't. But, I still think the clip will probably be similar. I don't think it's going to be this magic change. I think there will be maybe a little more emphasis on the run game. But, man, I'm just not sold on this idea that Matt LaFleur is suddenly going to become this Kyle Shanahan 2.0, where he just runs and runs and runs and, you know, tries to make things as simplified for his quarterback as possible. I don't know. I just haven't seen any evidence of it. Now, maybe that does occur. We'll see. But I just don't think it's this obvious kind of it's absolutely going to happen stuff. Now, do I think there'll be more condensed formations and definitely more motion? 1,000%. I do think we'll see a bunch more of that because that's the stuff that Rodgers. Well, I think Rodgers was fine with the condensed formations, but Rodgers made no secret about how much he disliked having motion on so many plays. So I think we'll definitely see more of that. ADF, thanks for the super chat. Congrats to Lazard for getting paid. 1,000%. Couldn't agree more. All right, everybody, I'm going to have to get going. I can't thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Again, don't forget, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., I'll be on Amazon Prime on their live talk show. So check that out on your Amazon account if you're a member. In the meantime, please do me a monster favor and hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and yes, if news of the trade goes down, if it becomes official tonight, I will be going live. If not, I will join you again tomorrow. Please hit like, hit subscribe, and then tell your friends and tell your family. Cheesehead TV. We are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great night. Go Pack Go.